Welcome back to Darshan channel. Today we'll be discussing the traditional square of oppositions. So in traditional square of opposition we'll be discussing contradictories, contraries, subalternation and subcontraries. Now let's see what traditional square of opposition means, right? So we find out that it is a traditional tool, it is a foundational tool in the classical logic that illustrates a relationship between different types of categorical proposition. So what are the categorical proposition? तो categorical proposition में आपका A proposition, E proposition, I proposition और O proposition आ जाता है. And it provides a systematic way to understand how proposition can relate to one another in terms of truth and falsity, meaning that if we know the truth value of A proposition be true, so we can know the value of E, I and O proposition also. And let's suppose if you know the value of I, then we can know the value of E, A and O proposition. So this four proposition forms a square. Now meaning that traditional square meaning that forms a square A, E, I and O. Connected by specific logical relationships such as contradiction, contrary, subcontrary, subalternation. So these are the names of the relationships. This relationship reveals how the truth or falsity of one statement influence another, offering a deep insight into the logical consistency and inference. It remains an essential part of the study of logic, offering a structured method to analyze and interpret logical propositions. So these are the use of it. Now let's see what the traditional square of opposition means. So in traditional square of opposition we find A proposition, we have E proposition, O proposition and then I proposition. And here we can see the relationship also which we discussed right now. So we have A and O proposition make contradictories and E and I proposition again contradictories. And A और E में क्या relation है? Contrary relation है. And A and I में subalternation, यहाँ पे contraries है तो यहाँ पे subcontrary. So it's easy to understand that. And then we have few more terms, subaltern, superaltern A preposition हो गया, subaltern आपका I preposition, again superaltern and subaltern. Now let's look into start with the contradictions. Yeah, contradictories. Two prepositions so related that one is the denial of the another, meaning if A preposition is true, O preposition would be false, and if E preposition is false, I preposition will be true. So one is the denial of the another. On the traditional square of opposition, the two pairs of contradictories are indicated by the diagonal. So this is the diagonal part of the square, right? So ये आपका contradictories हो जाएगा. A and O preposition, E and I preposition. Now let's move to the next one. We have contraries. So contraries यहाँ पे है आपका contraries. A and E prepositions are contraries. So we have the first preposition, A, all cats are mammals. So this is A preposition. No cats are mammal. That is E preposition. So if A preposition is true, E preposition is false. So if you see A preposition अगर आपका true आता है तो E preposition आपका false आ सकता है. And the next one is all animals are cat, again false hai, no animals are cat, false hai. Now in this particular case you can see that all animals are cat, false, no animals are cat, false. So both can be false together. So that is what contraries means. Two prepositions so related that they cannot both be true. So they cannot both be true, but both may be false. So they can be false together but cannot be true. So that is what contraries. Now let's start with subcontraries. Subcontraries, two prepositions so related that they cannot both be false although they may be true. So यहाँ पे I preposition और O preposition के बीच में subcontraries हैं. So this is subaltern and subaltern, some S is P, some S is not P. Now if you'll see here that some cats are animal. So again this is I preposition which is true. Some cats are not animal which is false. So again if you'll see I preposition and आपका O preposition है, एक true है आपका एक false है. Now can they both be true together? Yeah, according to the definition if we'll see, they cannot both be false although they may be true. So some leaves are green, this is true. Some leaves are not green, this is also true. So that means that it can be true together but cannot be false. So moving to the next one, we have subalternation. Subalternation is between a preposition and I preposition, e preposition and o preposition. So the relation of the square of preposition between a universal preposition जो आपका universal a e preposition है and its corresponding particular preposition which is I and o. So this is subalternation. Now the particular preposition I and o is called subaltern and the universal preposition is called subaltern. So this is also clear in the diagram. Now the traditional square of opposition. So let's just sum it up. This is the summary. Contradictory, opposite truth values, in a sense that if A is true, O is false. So in contrary, at least one is false, not both true, meaning that they cannot be true together. And subcontrary, it's just the opposite, at least one is true, not both false. Subalternation, truth follows downwards, meaning that if A is true, I will also be true. If E is true, then O will also be true. But falsity follows upward, in a sense that if I preposition would be false, then A will be false. If O will be false, E will be false. So truth flows downwards and falsity flows upwards. So we'll discuss some exercise में some questions, so it will be clear. Now let's see the diagram here. So given that A preposition is true, now let's say all poets are artists. So this is given as true. So what would be the value of other preposition? So if you can see that I preposition, so A preposition, so हमने अभी discuss किया था, truth flows downwards, meaning that I preposition will also be true, and then E and O preposition would be false. A preposition true है, O preposition उसका contradictory हो गया, that means O preposition is false, and falsity moves upward, meaning that E preposition will also be false. Now let's see the example itself. All poets are artists. So this is true. No poets are artists. Obviously this is false. Some poets are artists. So again true. Some poets are not artists. So again this value is already given, and then we have to find the value of other three. So now let's move to the next point where we have E preposition true. So again आपका let's suppose now इसमें given है, ठीक है, if this is given as true, so उस केस में क्या होगा? So if it is given that no poets are artists, so if this is given as true, so उस केस में आपका O preposition will be true. So again truth flows downwards, O preposition is true. And what about E preposition अगर true है, so उसका contradictory I preposition will be false. So falsity follows upwards, meaning that A preposition will also be false. Similarly, it is the same in the other two cases. Let's just see it once. So let's move with the I preposition. So I preposition is this one, right? So if I preposition is true, so I preposition true है, so it is smart to first check the contradictories, क्योंकि it is the easiest one, right? अगर I आपका true है, then E आपका false हो जाएगा. So we have E preposition false. And then if you'll see E false हो गया, but we are not able to determine the value of A and O preposition. So undetermined in a sense that we are not sure whether A preposition would be true or false, या O preposition आपका true या false हो गया, ठीक है. So these two values cannot be determined. That is what is given here. So again O preposition में अगर आप check करते हो, तो again we cannot determine the value of E and I preposition. Let's move to the next one now. What if it is given as false? So अगर आपका A preposition false है, now let's suppose A preposition आपका false आ रहा है, so again A preposition से आपको O मिल गया, O आपका true हो जाएगा. So O preposition would be true. Now in case of O preposition and true, but इन दोनों का क्या होगा? What about the E and I preposition? So it is undetermined. We are not able to determine. Okay, A and O का value हमें समझ आ रहा है, but we are not sure. जैसे कि यहाँ पे example given है, no politicians are honest. So all politicians are honest, no politicians are honest. ठीक है. So if this is false, if it is true, then तो obviously we can determine the value. But यहाँ पे false लिया है. So if it is false, then in that case, no politicians are honest. We are not sure about the truth value. Some politicians are honest, So यहाँ पे some politicians are not honest. It is true, but then some politician can be honest, right? तो ये भी तो true हो सकता है या false भी हो सकता है. So we are not able to determine the value. So same goes with the other three, E preposition, I preposition and O preposition. But यहाँ पे the interesting thing is, like, if we know the value of I being false, so if the value of I preposition is false, so in that case what will happen? I preposition is false, E preposition will be true. ये आपका true हो जाएगा, right? Whereas E preposition, this will become true. So now if this preposition is true, what will be the value of O preposition? Obviously O preposition भी आपका true हो जाएगा. When O preposition true होगा तो A preposition आपका false हो जाएगा. So this is how we find the value. So this two table is very important. The given table is very important. Now let's see what kind of questions are being asked, right? Let's see the first question. So exercise का पहला question देखते हैं. All successful executives are intelligent people. So this is already given as true. So this statement is true. What would be the truth value of the following statement? Now we have to find the truth value of the following statements. The first one is, so what we can do is we can draw the square. Again we can write A, E and I, O preposition. So what we know is A preposition ka value is true. So what will happen if the value of the A preposition is true? So we know uska jo contradictory part hai, that is O preposition, that will be false. So यहाँ पे O preposition is, some successful executives are not intelligent people. So ये आपका false हो जाएगा. And we know that falsity follows upwards, meaning that E will also be false. And E false होगा, I आपका true हो जाएगा. I आपका true हो जाएगा. Meaning that अगर आपका A preposition true है, in that case I preposition भी आपका true होगा. I preposition would be true, and then your E and O preposition will be false. ठीक है. So let's move to the second question. Now I have taken another case where E preposition is false. Now what will happen if your value of the E preposition is false? Let's again draw the table. So A, E, I and then O. E ka value is false. So in this particular case, if E preposition is false, we know that I preposition, which is some animals with horns are carnivorous, this is true. But again we cannot determine the value of A and O preposition. So again जो आपका prepositions है A and O, we cannot determine the value. So undetermined आप दोनों केस में undetermined लिख दोगे. Next question, some trees produce fruits. So is false. So again आपका I preposition is false. I अगर false है तो truth falsity follows upwards, meaning A preposition is true. A preposition true होगा तो O preposition आपका false होगा, and O preposition false होगा तो E preposition आपका true होगा. So आपका मिल जाता है all trees produce fruits, that is all trees produce fruit, which is true. And then आपका no trees produce fruits and some trees produce not fruit. So वो दोनों आपका false हो जाएगा. So this. Now let's see question number 4, जहाँ पे आपका O preposition is given as false. So some quantifiers, obsessive compulsive behavior, subject term, copula, not curable, predicate. So again let's draw the trigram. We have A, E, I and O preposition. Now in this particular question we have the O preposition as false. So if O is false, that means we know falsity moves upward, E will also be false. If E is false, I will be true, right? So and यहाँ पे O is false, meaning that A will be also true. So all obsessive compulsive behavior are curable disease. ये false है तो ये आपका true आ जाएगा. And then no obsessive compulsive behaviors are curable, that is again false. And then some obsessive compulsive behavior are curable disease, meaning I preposition being true. So again we have a few more questions. We have to identify the relationship between whether it is contradictory, contrary, subcontrary, and then subalternation. So we'll just have to check the relationship. So let's start with the first one, which is A and O preposition. So again let's draw the diagram. We have A preposition, we have E preposition, we have I and we have O preposition. So A and O में कौन सा relationship होगा? So आप लोग कमेंट में आंसर करके बताइए. E and I preposition, E and I में कौन सा relation होगा? So all teachers are kind, some teachers are not kind. So इनमें relation क्या होगा? No birds can swim, some birds can swim. So what would be the relation between E and I preposition? Similarly, some students are hardworking. So that is I preposition, some students are hardworking, and O preposition में है some students are not hardworking. So this relationship, इस relationship का क्या नाम है? So you have to comment it in the next question number 5. If some poets are artists, that is true. What would be the truth value of others? So we have already done this question in the example also. Try to find the answer and let me know in the comment box. So you can write exercise number 5 and then you can write the answers. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe.